name is Sylvester Muiruri. I am a player for Sailors Hockey Club, and I've been with the team for 4 seasons. This would have been the fifth, and will be the fifth once and when the season is able to resume, based on the current circumstances regarding the COVID pandemic. I play at defense for the Sailors, and previously I also played for USAU Mashujaa until 2015, when now I went to Chase Sailors. For today, I'll be naming my first 11 or my preferred 11. And for this team, I have to give a disclaimer that I am looking majorly towards the future that I believe is where hockey should go with the young people. Of course, we have had experienced players who have given their service to the team and are still generals in their respective clubs and in their respective positions, even in the national team. But for this particular time, I'd like to look at the future. So I think it's just good to have it out there that for the old generation, I respect them and what they've done, but I think I just want to give a different feel and look to my first 11. So, starting off with the formation that I prefer, I would go with the 4-3-3 formation. This is because, my formation has also been guided by the coach who I plan to be my preferred coach for this team. And with this formation, having worked under him, I know how it works, how it functions, and how he thinks to some extent, and the success that comes with this formation. And to start us off, the coach that I'm speaking about is the one and only Zach Auber. Hate him or love him, the guy is a general, he's a legend, his medals speak for him, his experience speaks a lot about him. Locally and internationally, we've seen what he can do, how brilliant he is, one of the best hockey players that Kenya has ever graced. And having gone or having been tutored under him during the first years of my journey with Sailors, several aspects stand out. One, what I like about him is that he makes the hard things look very simple, and he's able to transform things from theory to practical. Not many people are able to do that, and not all players are great coaches. But for him, it's natural to him that he can transfer knowledge and make the hardest of things look simple. And with that, makes players enjoy hockey much more. The other thing is that he's never a rigid coach, and he's one who can play around with formations and also player rotations in the team. And depending on how things are going, he's a great motivator to just let you run your show in the pitch, as long as you're just doing as per the game plan that he has. So to start us off, my goalkeeper, I'll go with Silong from USIU. He's an upcoming guy, and based on even last season, his performances are really on the up, and he has a great future. I like his reflexes, and you can see many other people, including great goalkeepers such as Linus Song, saying he is the next big thing. And I totally agree with that. And he's full of life, able to command his defenders well. And I believe with the right coaching as well, the few weaknesses that he has can easily be polished, and he'll be one of the great people. On to my centre backs with my 4-3-3. The first centre back that I'd go with is Connie of Butali. What I like about Connie is that he's calm. He is also able to marshal his troops, and he's just generally gifted in so many areas when it comes to a reading of the game, set pieces, and also for a defender, one of the best attributes that's needed is, for example, the area ability to be able to scoop the balls and all. So for me, I would put him there based on his experience that he's garnered over his time in the Premier League with the different clubs, Strathmore, Butali, and he's grown in leaps and bounds. and he's a leader. I don't believe a team such as Butali could put him as a captain if they didn't believe in him and he hasn't exuded leadership abilities. To partner Koni, I would go with Kena or Butali as well. What I love about Kena and the reason why I would play him alongside Koni is that he gives a different approach to what other defenders might give. This is because he has the ability to initiate attacks. He has this burst of sprint where he can easily initiate attacks from the defense. The other thing that I like about him is that his range of passing and his vision. Kena can slap a ball from one side to the other side of the pitch with precise precision. We've seen it especially this past season when he was playing for Wazalendo, and he's just a great person to have. Again, for the two, Koni and Kena, why I put them in my team, they are great penalty corner specialists. And that is an area that can give a team an edge when it comes to set pieces. Flanking them to the right, I would go with Robert Masibo. Young, energetic, passionate, a tough defender, and I think no one can dispute the far that he's come. As young as he is, to be almost, I think he was one of the permanent starters in that police team, says a lot about him. On the field, he exudes also leadership abilities when it comes to coordinating with his other defenders. And the best thing about him is that depending on how the game is, I like his overlapping tendencies. The fact that he's fit, can hit the ball, can scoop the ball, also gives a coach variations to play around it. You can easily change the formations with him. I believe even if you were to go with a 3-4-3, he would easily slot in as the fourth person in a midfield formation. On the left, I think I would go with Rioba of Wazalendo. My view is that in hockey, the left has been a problematic area. My view. That's a disclaimer. The left of defense has been an issue in most teams, across teams, if you analyze it properly. And I think Rioba is one person who can fill that position. This is because I've also seen him when he went to South Africa, and he did do a good job at it. And I would like to see him given more and more opportunities, but that, of course, depends on how well a player trains. But I believe he has the ability to fill in that position in this team. Moving from my defense to my midfield, starting off with my central midfielder, I would go for Brian from Park Road. He's a very quiet guy, and maybe he may not be known to many, but I like how he plays as a central midfielder. He's able to gel the team together, and he's very attack minded. If you look at how Park Road played, even last season in the Super League, he was one of the architects of the success of the team. I've also played against him for so many years, and I like his demeanor on the pitch, never giving up and just always having this smile on your face, which I believe is also important just to show that you enjoy the sport that you play. He's a very intelligent player, and I believe in my team he will be able to cement or marshal the midfield. Flanking him to the left, I would go with James Moody of USIU. Moody of USIU is a very good player. I have seen him from the first time that he joined campus, and I've been keeping tabs of him. And the boy has grown. Look at his performances, for example, in games such as those against Butali. He scored an amazing goal from the midfield, driving all along. He has pace, he has strides, he has skill, the dribbling abilities, and he also has a vision for goal. Once in a while, he might tend to not be to offer so much defensively, but offensively, he's a great player. And as I said initially, under Zach, I believe he will be able to get the best out of him and make him a lethal player more than he already is. To the right of the midfield, I would go with Vincent of Butali. He's also another quiet guy in a team, but very effective. He's a very good dribbler. He's also fast and pacey. And why I selected him is because it's very easy for him to switch. In my formation, I believe he and Woody can easily switch flanks depending on how a game is and the variation that they will be able to bring to a team. Two pacey and skillful midfielders who are fit, young, and are able to bring something out of nothing. So with that, I think my midfield of three is complete. Now I transit to my forward line. The forward line, there are many players who also qualify for these positions, but for my focal attack, I would go with Festus, formerly of Strathmore, now of Butali. Festus is a goal machine. He has been scoring goals for quite a number of seasons now. He is good on his forehand, better on his backhand, and the best attribute that I like about him last season that makes me pick him as my focal attack person. When things are not going right, you need that striker who falls deep into the midfield to help the teammates. That is an attribute that not many strikers do it willingly and passionately. And for him, I saw him doing it passionately to try to bail out his team, trying to make the team have everything for them to get on with their play. And for me, he is one person over and above the goals that he scores. His work ethic is what makes me pick him for my team. To his left or to his right, I would put Barry of Zalendo. Barry is another upcoming talent. The guy is a speedster. He's a great dribbler, and he's also has this eye for goal. Can score goals, backhand, forehand, name it. He's good at it, and I believe he also has room for improvement under this coach. When you have a coach who's been a legendary striker, he can be able to purify the raw aspects of any player. And I believe these are players who, under his coaching, can really develop. The other forward that I would put is Chris Wokila of Green Sharks. He's banged in also many goals, one of the top scorers in last season, and his work ethic is also to be admired. I like also his versatility in a team, considering if you look at last season, despite being one of the top scorers, where he started, he's filled in a number of positions, midfield, defense. So his versatility is one thing that I like, and I believe that despite his also poacher abilities and eye for goal as well, he's able to slot in to other parts of the team. If you look at the team that I have selected, these are people who can be able to play in various positions, not only just the positions that I might have mentioned in. As I've stated, for example, Chris can play in the midfield. You can have people like Kena also moving from defense to midfield. So there are players who can play and can occupy different positions in a team, meaning it will be very easy to tinker with the formation based on how the game situation is going. So that would be my preferred 11, and I believe this team would be able to dominate locally and internationally.